Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. This morning, I've already finished my coffee, so you don't have to watch the cup bob up and down in front of the camera. Today, we're sitting around inventing things, and we're inventing what to do with this, what to make of my next challenge. But first, let's look at this little drive unit alone. Why, it could hook up to a small little 20 series motor and drive something small. It could hook up to something more powerful like this TP motor and drive something a little bigger. It could hook up to something crazy like this new motor, and it could become a beast. That's why I'm thinking this is a pretty good alternative. The KV's high that you can get away with 2S, and you don't have to worry about water cooling, so it could be in a structure that just didn't lend itself for whatever reason. So I thought about an outrigger with a tub made using the lost foam method, which would just barely fit the components. So I'd have to, lay out the ESC and make a bump for it. And this would have to just fit the battery and, just some ideas on a piece of paper. And then I said to myself, Self, you have 2 of those motors. Why, you could make a twin. But Dr. Judd, you're using threaded propellers and you can't counter-rotate them. Why, yes, that's absolutely right. So if I were to make a twin, they would have to rotate the same direction. So if they're rotating the same direction, I would want to take advantage of that, just like a hydroplane takes advantage of prop rotation in turning. It turns on the prop, and the prop helps it to turn. So perhaps a twin hydroplane. So, it would still function the same way. It would turn on the props, but you just have more props. Well, how could you make a twin hydroplane? Now, you could just, offset motors from the center of the transom. Why not? But then why not a canard? I mentioned canards the other day. Canards have 2 sponsons. And then I got to thinking about this. When you look at an ordinary canard, just like the full-size one that Circus ran, the motor and all the components were in the center tub, and then the sponsons were just out there to hold the boat up. What if the sponsons held the motor, the battery, and the speed control in the sponson, and then the connecting wing, it is a wing, the connecting wing would connect the sponsons, but why would you need a center body? Yes, you have a float or a ski up in the front, but you don't need this big, huge tub to support that ski. You could conceivably just use a tapered helicopter rotor shaft to hold a ski. So you could have a wing with 2 sponsons on it. Remember the Gossamer Condor? That was the pedal-powered airplane that Paul McCready built. It had a wing and then a long post and a canard up here. That's kind of what I'm thinking. You put the ski up there, and if necessary, put a turn fin on it. That way you'll keep it straight. And then you build a wing section connecting two sponsons together that have a power system in it, and you basically build what's almost, but not quite, a ground effect vehicle. Make a winged section between your two sponsons, but make it small enough that it can't generate enough lift to really get that thing out of the water and flying. So you don't want to pull the propellers out of the water, but you want the propellers to be lifting the least amount of weight. So if you have a wing carrying 50% of the weight of that boat, that's an idea. So that's what I was thinking. A section like this, motor, battery, speed control. The Epler 214, actually the Epler 211, 212, 214 series airfoils would work real good for this because they have this bit of undercamber in here, which will help on the pitching moment. But I digress. So I'm thinking a sponson with a wing section and just this little carbon fiber tube holding up a ski with a fin on it. It'd be a strange looking thing, but it might work, And then in the wing, in the plan view, you put your receiver in one side of the wing. The 214 is really thick. It's like 14% thick. So structurally it's there. So you put your receiver in one side, you put your servo for your rudder in the other side, boom, hang a rudder off the back of the wing, make some sort of fairing to hold a rudder, and you're good to go. And just this little rod holding some sort of ski up front, So it looked like a little arrow. Anyway, boys and girls, Dr. Jet has been inventing. Not necessarily going to build stuff, but we're inventing. Until next time, Jet out. Attention, boys and girls. This is an addendum to today's video. Just a couple more ideas to throw at you. I talked about, this canard with the itty-bitty carbon fiber tube going out here and then hanging a rudder back here. If I'm going to put a fin on that ski in the front, why not articulate that ski, and that's the steering. So you'd have sponsons, wing section connecting them way up here, a ski with a fin that turns. Now, here's one more idea that I thought about. There may be some rough water stability issues with hanging this canard thing out front. And what happens if you took this canard thing and just turned it around back here and had a ski that would normally hold a prop, but the props are now up here. And so again, you would have a wing with a post to a ski in the back. I'm beginning to think that's even better than this whole canard idea. Take this whole thing. Look at this. I have an eraser on a stick. Because I never make mistakes, see? But you could conceivably run a carbon fiber tube down here and have some sort of trailing ski kind of thing that's connected to this servo. Boop. So it would almost have the proportions of a conventional outrigger, but you would have nothing up here because you didn't need it. You'd have your power plants in your sponsons, and you don't need anything back here other than something to steer the boat and to keep it organized. I'm beginning to like that idea. Forget this canard thing. That canard-ly work. But I could take this same sponson and just put a post out here and a rudder and have a ground effect vehicle. I took this out. I was going to talk to you about it because it had that same Mystery 3000, and I thought it used a straight shaft, but MHZ, used this same coupler, but they used a cable in it. So that hardware is no longer available. But see, a boat this size would work. Yeah, actually, that's about where you'd want your motor, is on the CG. So yeah, a boat like this would work with this. So you know what? That's acceptable. And, use this power plant and put it in this little MHZ thing. See, this is my idea of a really good hydroplane. You got a farmer here with a MAGA hat driving a John Deere. So, yeah, my sense of humor. A farmer with a MAGA hat. Okay, boys and girls, thus endeth the addendum to today's video. Until next time, jet out.